Hey everybody, I'm Mike Steele with Barbecue Champs Academy. It's so great to be with everybody tonight. We are looking forward to a wonderful show with this man right here, Mr. Bryan Crawford. And Bryan, it's so great to have you here. Bryan is the owner of Crawford's Barbecue Pit Products. And certainly great to have you here with us, Bryan. I know we're going to get to talk a little bit about some of your amazing rubs.
Yeah, well, great to be here. Glad
Well,
to having me.
I appreciate you being on. It's going to be a good show tonight. We get to hear a little bit about your rubs, your retail store, some influencers and what you've got, prompted you to get into the barbecue stuff, and got some pro tips for us. We'll maybe pick your brain on even some of that as well. So we're going to give people a few minutes to come in. As you come in, if you give us a shout out, let us know that you're here. We certainly appreciate it. Hey, there's my buddy James. Hey, James, how are you doing? He is bought several of our classes on Barbecue Champs, and
Hey, James.
he is an amazing backyard cooker, and it's great to have James. If y'all have got questions tonight, certainly let us know. We will get them over to Bryan, ask him some questions. And before we get too far into this, we're going to just let a few folks that are steadily coming in give us a shout out. Let us know you're here. Once again, if you got questions, don't forget to chime in, and we'll certainly get them answered. We certainly do want to thank all of our partners. Be Extreme Barbecue, Mr. Danny, has got some amazing product. I know, Bryan, you sell a lot of his stuff. We just picked up Papa Joe's grilling supply. B&B charcoal, unbelievable charcoal. I ran their lump hickory this weekend, was flawless. I had a really, really good cook with the grand champion and a third overall on Sunday, and overall the whole deal for the 2-day event. So I know that some of their products getting a little hard to find, but it's out there, and I know Ace Hardware has it. And do you have a pretty good supply of
Yeah,
B&B?
right now I have a full inventory. I don't have a lot of everything, but
You got
I
some.
got a little bit of everything.
That's good. That helps. Also, we can't go without thanking this man right here being part of Barbecue Champs, Mr. Bryan Crawford, his barbecue pit products, and also his retail store, Lonestar BBQ Pro Shop. He's fixing to be one of our companies that we're going to start. He's been so gracious to try to carry all the rubs that our classes have. I would say that you probably carry 90%, maybe 95% of the rubs and sauces that we use in our barbecue pitmaster and state grill master classes. And we're going to have a link in there on our page. We've already got it to where if you're in there, buying his classes and you're seeing the rubs that our pitmasters and state grill masters use, now you got a link that's right up underneath the videos. You can click it and go right to Bryan's website and start putting them in the cart. We're trying to make it really convenient where it's a one-stop shop. You can get everything at one location. Bryan, I want to thank you for coming aboard and filling that need, because we just trying to save our customers some money instead of having to go to a bunch of different places to get it. So thank you for
Absolutely,
that.
I'm here to serve.
That's it. Also, our good buddy Craig Sherry at Texas Pepper Jelly, and David at Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. Man, we had him on a couple weeks ago, and he sure brought some knife knowledge that I never even knew about. So we've got some great sponsors, partners, whatever you want to call them. We call them our partners. That's what we feel like they are. They've partnered with us to help us continue to do what we do, and we appreciate all them. But without further ado, we've got a pretty good number of folks in. People are steadily coming in. Yes, Vanessa, thank you for being here tonight. And James, I'm glad that you are here. We're gonna introduce you to some new products that Mr. Bryan has. And do you know this girl right here? You know
Oh
Shannon,
man,
hey little brother. So
yeah.
anyway, so she's gonna listen to what you have to say. And also, Hector, thank you. I had a great weekend this past weekend, and he says hi. So anyway. If y'all have questions, once again, let us know. And we're going to turn this over to Bryan and start asking him some questions about some of the stuff. Bryan is the owner of Crawford's Barbecue Pit Products. And I tell you what, if you have not been to his website at Lone Star, I'm going to throw it up real quick so you can tell you what I'm going to do. Let me see if I can stream this across the bottom. I should have already had that done. Yeah, I'll just put it up. You can see all of Bryan's product and everything that he sells at Lonestar BBQ Pro Shop.com. But Bryan, I want to talk a little bit before we get too far into it. Let's start off. I know we was at first going to talk about your barbecue background, but we've got a lot of folks in here, and I want to get right to your product. And we'll come back. We'll circle around and get the some backyard pro tips in your barbecue career. But I know that you have to be extremely excited when you entered your rubs. Did you enter all your rubs in, or just the one?
The rubs I had available at the time, my Texas Steakhouse Dust, I did not have available at the time, but I entered the SA, the Alamo, and the burnt beef,
Okay.
and both of those, that Alamo and the burnt beef, they did respectable
Okay.
in the contest. But the big winner was the
This
SA.
this
You know,
essay, yeah.
best
Well,
best rub on the planet.
I'm gonna pop this up real quick and let's see if I can get over there to it. Screen share. Give me just a second. Let's try that again. It didn't go where I wanted it to go. See if we can go over here. This is the one that brought the money home to him. Uh,
Sir,
American Royal, biggest barbecue competition in the world, and your seasonal all-purpose rub was the overall winner out of literally hundreds of rubs turned in.
yes,
And buddy,
sir.
for you to get best rub on the planet, I know that had to make you feel good. I remember telling you about 2 weeks, well, probably a month prior to learning about this. I told you that was one of the absolute best all-purpose rubs that I had ever tried in my life, and it is extremely good. And I am very, very proud of you to be able to get that award because that's a huge accomplishment with all the folks that are out there, and to have a seasonal and all-purpose rub stand out and be the best, buddy. Kudos to you for that, because
Thank you, thank you.
that just doesn't happen every day. So, tell us a little bit about your rubs, and I want you. You've got a lot of them. We'll look into that in a minute. But tell us a little bit about the seasonal. What's the secret ingredients?
Well, the seasonal, I'll tell you the secret. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to reveal the secret to everybody that the secret ingredient that this has that most AP seasonals don't have is, wait for it, celery salt.
Really?
I have celery salt in mine. That's one thing that a lot don't have. So, a lot of barbecue rub lines, they have their own AP. And so this was my version of an AP. I'm a personal fan of celery salt. I like a lot of garlic, a lot of onion powder, and it's just got all the essential seasonings. I think that are good for just no matter what you're cooking, whether you're cooking a brisket, whether you're season up some asparagus to throw on a grill, or if you're just cooking a soup, but you need to add a little seasoning to it. I use it in everything I grill and barbecue, and my wife uses it in her day to day kitchen cooking needs. It's just a great seasoning that it, there's the limits of its use are just unlimited.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, it is it is an unbelievably good all-purpose rub. And
Thank you.
I never really got to looking at the ingredients. I just know there was something in there that made it stand out a little bit. And it's celery seed. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
I got both, but the celery salt to me
celery salt. Okay.
it is very oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It
Stands out. Pops.
just stands out. It's uh, I I think it's a good spice that is underused, in a lot of people's cooking.
Right. And that's what it takes. It takes something in a rub that stands out. And that's what I never could put my taste on. Like, there's something in this rub that is standing out over all the other all purpose rubs that I had. And it has an amazing flavor to it. And I'll tell you what, man, I use this stuff on everything
Yeah,
popcorn, all my chicken, ribs, you name it, it's good on everything. We did some like just some boneless, skinless chicken breast, and man,
Yeah,
a base coat of that stuff. Oh my gosh, I could have just ran with that. So if you don't have it, if you haven't tried any of Bryan's stuff, I'm telling you right now, you need to do it. It's called as SA Rub. I'll hold it up here to the camera. It is a season all rub. It's Crawford season all. That's the SA. There we go. It is some very, very, very good rub. And get you some. Lonestar BBQ Pro Shop.com. And I am so proud of you to be able to get best rub on the planet. That's a great award to have. Also, you've got other rubs. Now, I want to talk about some of these products because this is something that I had never seen before. And I know you brought these out, I think it was sometimes last year, but it's called Pit Spritz.
Yes, sir.
And it's Crawford's Pit Spritz. This is the apple flavor. You've got apple. I know you've got pineapple. You've got a Memphis Mistress Pit Spritz, which I guess is kind of good for a Memphis style, dry style rib. You've even got one that's called beef beef pit spritz, which I'm assuming you can use this for spritzing your brisket and stuff. I want to talk a little bit about that. So let's first start with the apple flavor. I know you got apple. I know you got pineapple. You got peach. I have used the peach before. Is it a spritz only? How's the best way to use it?
Well, there's three major uses for it. Spritzing, obviously, I like to keep my meats moist during the cooking process, but it's also good as one of your major ingredients when you go to inject.
Oh.
So whenever I'm making concocting a injection, well, I usually use you take the brisket, for instance. I'm using a minimum of 1 cup of my beef spritz as part of my recipe.
Okay.
And the same with my pork recipe. My favorite one is the peach. Some people like the apple or the pineapple better. I'm a peach guy. I like the peach, so I use the peach spritz in my injection. And another thing it's really good for is wraps. I use it as part of my wrap for my brisket and part of my wrap for my ribs. So
okay, so
it's got three major ingredient or uses.
So you use it as a spritz to keep it moist. You use it in your injection. So like you like the peach. I like peach. I've used that one before. You literally put this into your injection and you use this to inject in the rib as well.
Yes, sir.
And
yeah,
then
I mix it with I'm either mixing it with Lucky Charms or Texas Oil Dust. One of those guys is
right.
Great injection products.
Right. And then you also use it as a wrap or as a product that's in your wrap as well.
Yes, sir.
So it's a 3 different way. And you use that for all the fruit flavor spritzes, but you also do that the same for the beef product as well.
Yeah, because the beef is going to add some beefiness to it, and it's got just a little bit of sweet.
Okay.
But it's mostly beefy.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Water, brown sugar, beef base, salt, and absorbic acid and natural butter flavor. You know what? I never said I would change my brisket recipe. I've got such a good brisket recipe, but I'm gonna have to play with that. I don't put a lot of liquid in my brisket wrap, and as much as I don't want to. I had a first place and a fifth place brisket. I can't even believe those words would come out of my mouth. I have not changed my brisket recipe in 4 years. I have just had an amazing brisket over the years. But there's always a little extra twist. If it ever drops, I know what I'm going to grab. So,
that's right.
And right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
don't fix it.
Well, that is some pretty neat stuff. I know that they've got really good flavor to them. I have used the peach spritz before. I just used it, Bryan, as a spritz. I never thought about using it in the wrap. So, I could see how that would go really, really well.
Yeah, well, for a lot of the backyard cookers, a lot of backyard cookers aren't necessarily injecting.
Right.
So I mean, it's spritz it. It's going to add a nice flavor to it. It's got enough sugar in it. It's going to help add some caramelization. Give it a try.
Yeah, I can see how that would work. Got a couple other folks coming in here. You got some great product. Love the burnt beef on brisket. I will tell you right now. Now that burnt beef rub, it is absolutely. First time I ever grabbed it, I was pouring it out or putting some in. I was making a bacon wrap meatloaf, and I grabbed this to put on the meatloaf. And I tell you right now, the first thing I was like, man, am I smelling coffee? And I was like, what in the world? It smells like coffee. And I grabbed it and I looked in the ingredients, and sure enough, right in the middle of it, you got coffee in it.
Yeah.
And I don't drink coffee. I don't care about coffee, but I just know this. You talk about something that stood out for a beef rub. Man alive, that is a good beef rub. So, yeah, Greg is talking about how he loves it on brisket. And Greg, I have never used it on brisket. Once again, I've got a very unique recipe that I do, but I bet that would be, once again, if it drops, I'm grabbing a couple of these things and going to play with it. But yeah, very good.
A little thing about the name of I come up with burnt beef rub because many of you may know a little. You may or may not have heard of a little well-known guy named Burnt Bean.
Yeah.
Well, I took my original recipe to him. We were at a cook-off, and I asked him. I said, "What do you think about this?" And we kind of went back and forth, and he gave me a couple of tips, and I took a couple of tips and ran with it. And so, as a tip of the hat to Mr. Ernest, I thought, well, I'm going to call this burnt beef rub. Kind of
How
a
about that?
tip of the hat to burnt bean.
Homage back to him. Well, I tell you what, he's one of the greatest brisket cookers of all time. So, and I kept wondering, when I was sitting there looking at that, I was like, burnt beef. I was like, man, is that the greatest name or what? And I'm thinking, burnt. Nobody wants nothing burnt, but now we know the rest of the story. So, as Paul Harvey used to say, now we know the rest of the story. So it's got a great meaning behind it. Probably with one of the absolute greatest brisket cookers of all time. So, and you paid homage to him for that. That is absolutely awesome. So now I know why the name came. Your other one is Alamo Dust. I know I have used this a lot on pork products, especially with I'm doing pork tenderloins. I love bacon wrap pork tenderloins, and I tell you what, this is a great rub for pork. I haven't tried it on chicken, but and I see you've got it. It's got pork and poultry. I bet it's probably really good on chicken. So
it is. I myself and I know a lot of other successful cooks used it on chicken and pork, but I've had quite a good run with chicken on it, and I know several others have too. I mean, it's just really great on chicken.
Okay.
But what's funny is I originally designed it for ribs, which I do use it on my ribs.
Right.
My personal success on ribs has been as good as chicken. The chicken's the Lucy bird that everybody hates.
Right. Exactly.
But ever since I started using that, and a couple tips that I got from a friend of mine that is a very good chicken cook, that I've been doing real well with chicken lately. So
right. Well, I tell you what, it is a very, very balanced rub. It's a little sweet, a little salt, that savory, and then it's just got this little nice back end heat. It's about probably one of the, like for a rub that has all the flavor profiles.
Yeah.
Sweet, savory, heat. That one's got it all. And it's not one that's out of bounds from the other. And that to me is one of the things that I really like.
Well, that was my first rub I came up with. And we were talking earlier about, I was wanting to come up with something that had a little bit of all three of my favorite rubs I was using before, just in one great rub. And I got mad scientist and just started playing with stuff. And next thing you know, I came up with the Alamo Dust, and it's been good. I've had a lot of success with it. A lot of other people like it, and then just the backyard cooks have really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. Well, CJ Bean said it's good stuff for ribs. I bet. I haven't tried it on ribs, but I bet it. I've tried it on pork tenderloin, CJ.
And if anybody knows, CJ, he's a good rib
Yeah, he's an unbelievable rib cooker. So, if you guys have got any questions for Bryan about his product, how to best utilize them or use them, or other things to use them for other than just barbecue, shoot us a comment. I mean, that's the whole purpose. We like to get everybody involved. Heck, we dadgum can't cook. We're all jonesing to go cook, and we're all stuck. I got lucky enough to be able to slip off to a competition this weekend that BCA was doing. And gosh, it was so great to see everybody again. So if you guys have got any questions, or gals have got any questions, what is some other? Let us know. What's some other products that or other ways that you can use your product? I mean, I told you I use the seasonal on popcorn. Man, alive, the stuff is just absolutely amazing for that.
Well,
What other thing do you give us a backyard pro tip that you use that you like to
well,
cook some of your
the
stuff
Alamo
on?
dust is great on popcorn too.
Really? I haven't tried
And
that.
the burnt beef, when you
Yeah.
go for breakfast, you need a little something on your eggs. It's great on your eggs.
Really? See,
Burnt
I
beef is
never
awesome
would have
on
thought
eggs.
that. Okay.
Yeah, get you
Scrambled or
some of that.
fried, either way, it doesn't matter. It's just eggs in general.
Just eggs in general. It's good stuff.
Well, I'm going to have to try that because I love me some good eggs. I got a buddy of mine, Joshua Campbell, and man, I tell you what, early on in the year, he always brings us big, old, huge double yolked eggs, and I absolutely love frying up them things. And I'm going to definitely have to try. I got to thinking the seasonal would probably be pretty good, just a light little dust, but I'll have to try the burnt beef as well. So,
Sure.
what other tips?
Well, tip wise, one of my favorite things to make is jalapeno poppers.
Okay,
Outside of competition, I always tell people, one of the coolest things you can do is go to your favorite butcher and and get a very thinly have them go to a butcher that can cut raw meat,
mm-hmm.
and then have them cut you some New York strip, just very thin,
Right.
and then wrap that around your jalapeno popper. Then
Oh
wrap it in
man.
bacon.
Oh my God.
You're gonna take a jalapeno popper to a whole new level.
Holy crap! I have never thought of wrapping it with a freaking dead gum piece of steak.
Yeah,
Oh
and if
my
you want to get
gosh.
really uh, off the chain, get you some lobster tails and cut you some little bit of lobster tail.
Right.
Put it in the popper, wrap it with some bacon, or I
Oh
mean, wrap it with that steak.
yeah.
And then get you some Wagyu beef bacon
Yeah.
and wrap that steak with Wagyu beef bacon. You got surf and turf all in one. You got a whole meal
Oh
right there.
my gosh, that would be one heck of an insulary right there.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's lobster.
lobster, cream cheese, jalapeno, wrapped in a New York strip. And the reason why I like to use New York strip is because it's just one muscle,
Right.
as opposed to ribeye got multiple
Right.
muscles. And if you cut it
Right.
really thin, they don't want to stay together.
Right.
So I'll use a New York strip and I'll wrap that around, and then I'll wrap Wagyu beef bacon around that. So you got surf and
Wow.
turf all right there, and
Oh my goodness
it's
gracious.
it's off the chain.
So do you put it on a grill and just grill it, all
Yeah,
indirect
yeah.
heat? Just
I put it on indirect heat.
yeah,
Cook it about 350 or so,
right.
and
How
just
long does
wait
it
till
normally
that.
take? 30, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah, yeah. No, 20 minutes you'll be done.
It's done. Man alive. That sounds like an amazing dish.
Yeah, that's you make some of those, you're gonna be real popular in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I may have to do that for the Q and Live show. We haven't done any because the weather's been just horrible with the hurricane coming through Shreveport last week and didn't have electricity for a couple of days. And I don't know, but I'll definitely going to use your product for that. I bet it would be. Now, what rub do you use for that?
I use SA burnt beef for it.
SA and burnt beef. Okay. All right. So yeah, somebody else said try the Alamo dust on eggs. That's what you was just saying. The Alamo dust and the burnt beef. I mean, yeah, man, I'm with you, man. I'm hungry. That is a crazy idea, and I know if anybody can hook me up with some beef, it's you and your dad. So we're gonna have to try that. That I have
It's
never even.
delicious.
Where that? Did you come up with that recipe, or had you
I
seen it
did.
cooked?
Well, I did come up with that recipe. Uh, I carry Hassel cattle beef in my store,
Right.
and he has a Wagyu bacon that I sell, and it's just life
Right.
changing stuff.
I bet. Oh my
So
gosh.
for
I
anybody
bet.
out there that is not in San Antonio area, you can just go to Hassel Cattle's website and order that
And
bacon,
order bacon wagyu
and
bacon.
that
Wagyu bacon.
it'll make. I mean, everybody loves pork bacon because pork bacon is
Right.
heavenly,
Right.
but this beef bacon is
Awesome.
actually, I think, is a little better.
Does it now? Is it like? I mean, a brisket takes forever to cook. It's not like that. It cooks fast. It's
Yeah,
kind. It
it
kind
cooks
of cooks
fast.
like a steak. It cooks like a steak.
Yeah, it cooks just like a normal bacon. I mean, it's cut
Wow,
like normal bacon.
that's crazy. I'm gonna have to try that. Dad,
Yeah,
damn it, that sounds
you will
good.
not change. You will not regret it
So,
whatsoever.
so you take the jalapeno, scallop it out, lobster, cream cheese, put a little rub on it, burnt beef on it, wrap it in wagyu bacon,
No, wrap it with a New York strip that's been
New
cut
York
very
strip,
thin
and then wrap it with wagyu
bacon.
bacon.
Yes, sir.
350 indirect heat, 20 minutes or so. Man,
Yeah, you'll be
that's
in heaven.
yeah, I bet. You have
You
any?
make it for an appetizer, but you won't want. You just want it. You want nothing but the appetizer.
Well, I don't care about anything else. Just give me those because that sounds. You got
It,
lobster, you got beef, bacon, and you got steak. I mean,
it's surf and turf
it's surf and
in
turf
one
all
bite.
in one bite. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
delicious.
So, well, there he is himself, Mr. Craig Sherry. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? I'm
Hey,
glad
Craig.
you joined the show. So, man, he just got through telling us, Craig, about this amazing dish. I don't know if you just popped on, but it is a stuffed cream cheese, stuffed jalapeno with lobster wrapped in New York strip, thinly sliced New York strip steak, wrapped with uh, beef bacon, cooked on indirect heat at 350 degrees. You talk about a surf and turf all in one bite, that would be it. So, man alive, I cannot wait. I'm going to cook that. I may
Yeah,
have to
it's
cook that at an insulary, but that sounds like
yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Well,
So,
you had to practice, and you got to enjoy it for yourself a few
oh,
times.
absolutely. I'll have to cook it at least 20 or 30 times just to make sure I've got it down. So, that's awesome. Hey, if you guys have got, oh yeah, somebody, Edgar says, and finish it with the Memphis Mistress. That would probably give
Yes,
it
sir.
a whole nother one. So,
That's
yeah,
right.
there you go, Joey. $100 popper. I guarantee you it probably is, but who
For
cares? It
Joey,
would
it's
be
only $99.
$99, but it would be the best $100 $99 that you ever spent. That's the great thing. So I don't know, man. It just sounds amazing. Hey, John Lindsay, I'm glad you joined us. I know you've been thumping. I'm not going to tell you the recipe, but you're going to have to go back and listen if you just came in on this amazing stuffed cream cheese lobster wrapped in New York strip bacon or New York strip steak, thinly sliced, wrapped with beef bacon. It sounds amazing. And James, I expect to see you because this is my backyard guy. James, I expect to see this sometimes between now, but at least by this weekend. He cooks all these cool dishes. He took our backyard barbecue classes, and he cooks some amazing food. And James, I hope that you'll try that because I guarantee you it sounds delicious. And you got to post a picture of it if you do. I'll definitely. I'm thinking about trying to get James on our show. All right, so you've got some amazing product. Oh, one other one. I know you just came out with this, if I recall. And I love me some chicken wings. And you've got this Crawford's Rodeo sauce, wing sauce. And man, I'm telling you, I've been a Mr. Craig Sherry Texas pepper jelly barbecue sauce with some peach mango habanero rib candy mixed in it. Man, that is a killer go-to wing sauce. I haven't. You sent this to me about a month ago. I have not got a chance to try it, but tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that has a mix between my Memphis Mistress and a traditional buffalo. It's got a nice buffalo kick, but the
Okay.
name to that has a nice little backstory too. Now, I call it the rodeo sauce because last year at the rodeo, the San Antonio rodeo, some of your viewers might know a couple of these yahoos. Fong
Yeah.
from Houston, and my good buddy Hector, I think, is watching right now as well. Well, these two were getting hungry, and they wanted to cook up some wings, and so they started cooking up some wings. And I just had a partial bottle of Memphis Mistress, and I had a partial bottle of Frank's hot sauce. Well, next thing you know, these two guys they mixed it together. And I thought, well, that I thought it sounded a little strange, but next thing you know, I can't get enough of these wings that they made with this concoction, and so I got the bright idea as well. I got the Memphis Mistress recipe already. I just need to incorporate a buffalo to it, and then I got me a new sauce, and so rodeo wing sauce was born
Man,
on a evening after the San Antonio Rodeo Awards was over, and may or may not have been a few adult beverages involved, but
wow. Well, we've got Asa joining us from New Zealand. He bought one of our steak classes, I think this past week, and thank you for joining us all the way from New Zealand, buddy. We do these shows every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central Time. Certainly glad that you took the time to be here. I hope you're enjoying the steak class that you took. You will learn a lot, no doubt. One quick question. Where's the cigar?
I kept waiting for John to bring it to me. I thought he was going to be here at 7.
I got you. You never got it. So, yeah, James, I'm like you. I love Craig's ribs and his rib candy. His rib candy went on my ribs this weekend. I'll tell you right now, I started incorporating his rib candy pretty heavily last year, and man, I tell you what, Craig, thank you, buddy. It is some absolutely good stuff. So, I mean, this is what I love about this show, being able to talk to people and how you come up with stuff. I think it's kind of neat because we're starting to learn more. We learned about Gunnar Wilhelm knives. We learned about B&B charcoal. We're learning about like the makeups that you have here. The next person I'm going to try to get on here pretty soon is that man right there, Mr. Craig Sherry with Texas Pepper Jelly. Craig's got a whole new line of rubs that he's been working on after being in the sauce and rib candy business for years. And I'm probably going to try to reach out to him and see if we can get Craig on here next week. Not only is he an amazing cook, he's one of our pit masters, but he's got a great line of rubs and sauces that he's come out with his rubs, especially.
Yeah, he's got a nice line of stuff. I got all of them in the store. Just got all his rubs. Been enjoying playing with them on a daily basis because we here when we're at the store, we don't go to McDonald's and get lunch. We make our own lunch.
Absolutely. You got too much stuff laying around. You have to.
Yeah, we're playing with the rubs. That way, whenever somebody comes in and asks about a rub, we got a little bit of knowledge about the different rubs.
Yep. Anybody got any other questions for James about his rubs, how to use them? And shoot us a question, or if how you've incorporated them. That's the great thing by having people on here. Like, I've used this, I've done it this way. And, and the wing deal, I mean, that is so cool. The way I was like, rodeo, why did he come up? There must be something with Texas. And, here we go. Lisa's on here saying, yep, they were some good wings. So I'm going to have to try it. Get them, cook them up, get them nice. And
it's a good sauce. If you like a buffalo flavor, because it certainly has a nice buffalo kick to it, you're going to enjoy it. It's sweet with it's both sweet and buffalo. It's a nice combination.
Yep, nice combination. I know the Memphis Mistress is really good, so I bet that would be good on a dry style rib to just keep basting it in that and let it cook down for just a good backyard.
Yeah, the Memphis is perfect for a lot of things, but especially like pulled pork.
Yeah. Okay, so Matt Overson, who's the 2019 SCA points champion in the U.S. last year, he wants to know, hey, maybe this is my next leg up. Can I inject this beef spritz in a steak?
Absolutely. Matt, you be the first one to win a golden ticket with that beef and spritz injection.
I'll tell you, it's going to be, Matt, you may have to give that a try, man. If they ain't watching the show, they ain't going to know nothing about it. So,
all right. Well, it works for brisket. Why not a steak?
Yeah,
right?
You might have to try it. It's beef, right? So, I don't know, Brian. You've got some great products here. I want to talk a little bit now about your retail store. If you're wondering where you can get all these fine products of all his rubs that he has here, it's at Lonestar BBQ Pro Shop.com. And he's probably got one of the absolute largest barbecue retail stores in Texas with all the stuff he got. Never got a chance to go to it. I've heard it is absolutely immaculate store. You carry all kind of grills, and I know you carry Craig's and Be Extreme, and my gosh, you've got to probably. I know you carry almost every dadgum rub that any of our pit masters and barbecue pit masters and steak grill masters use, but you also carry grills and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Absolutely. My first focus as far as the rubs and sauces were to go was to have all the Texas guys. Craig Sherry, Phil Breeding, Aaron Leslie, and all the extreme. All the Texas rubs was my first goal, and then there's a lot of other stuff that's not. Almost everything is better in Texas. Well, everything is the best in Texas, but there's a couple things that we'll import.
Right.
Out of Texas. That's pretty good. My buddy Cam Day, Elk Creek Barbecue. He's got some really good stuff.
Yeah, he does.
There's just a lot of good quality rubs that have been proven throughout the barbecue competition world. Mark Lambert, I got all his stuff in there. As far as pits goes, I got pits and spits made right here in Texas, Houston, Texas.
Okay.
I got Green Mountain Grills. They're great.
Oh yeah.
I got Tribal Fire Grill, which is kind of a new concept.
Yeah, I just saw. I think Frank did a. Yeah, there's one of our listeners on here tonight. I think it's Frank. Frank, wasn't you the one that did the little demonstration on the tribal grill? I think it was, and we'll find out in a second if he's still on.
The Tribal Fire Grill is a really unique, cool grill. That's just fun to cook on. PK Grills is everybody knows PK. It's one of my favorite grills to cook on. That's what I do my competition chicken on. I have Napoleon. I have Memphis Woodfire pellet grills. I have M Grills. Thanks, Hector.
Yeah, M Grills. Yeah.
M Grills have made in Dallas.
Right.
Nobody makes a grill heavier duty than M Grills. I put anybody up against M Grills. When M Grills make something, they build that shit to last forever. Gotcha. It is extremely heavy gauge. It is a very well built grill, very well thought out. Right. And their M16 grill is sports car grills. They look so cool.
Yeah, they are. Okay, so it was Frank. Frank's got a YouTube channel. Frank, if you will, pop up what that is, and I'll plug it up for you. But he did he was at Tribal facility, and they were showing him how to season it. They cooked up some stuff on it. He did a nice little video right there. I think it was at the factory, and the owner may have been the owner. I'm not sure, but he did it was about a 20-minute, 30-minute video of how they seasoned it, how they got it all done, how they got it. And then they started cooking on it, and it's a neat little grill. I've never had seen it before.
It is. Yeah, and, it is a cool grill. I believe I've seen that video, Frank. That was a great video.
Yep.
And we got Trip Ryan. He's going to be in Texas in a couple weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing him. We're going to be at a cook-off in El Campo. Joey's going to be there. So you'll have a couple of your barbecue champ pit masters there. I don't know who else besides Joey as far as your pit masters go. Lee might be there.
I may be there. Yep. So,
but it's going to be a good time. I know Trip's going to be showing off that Tribal Fire Grill.
Yep.
It's a fun thing to cook on.
He fried fish on it this weekend. I have a video that works in the works. Big Papa's Barbecue is the YouTube channel. Big Papa's Barbecue is his YouTube channel, and it was Aaron Norris. So if you want to go see that thing in action, go to Big Papa's Barbecue YouTube channel, and take a look at it. You can see that tribal grill in action. It's a pretty neat deal, and it's versatile. It's a really, really versatile piece. All right, I got one question real quick. I want to get it, and then we can keep right on going because I don't want to forget this. This is a good question. Scott brought up, how long do the rubs stay fresh?
Well, a lot of it depends on the environment you're keeping them in.
Okay.
If you're keeping them in your barbecue trailer that's setting out in 100-degree weather during the week, it's not going to last as long. If you keep it inside your pantry in a controlled environment, it's going to last a lot longer. But if you have a sugary rub like the Alamo Dust and you aren't using it as much as you should be, because if it's going bad on you, you're not using enough of it. But
there you go.
I digress. But a really sugary rub, if you keep it in the refrigerator, it will last a lot longer.
Okay.
So, but the sugarier the rub, if you wanted to, if you're not getting enough use out of it, keep it in the refrigerator.
Yeah. One of the things that I do is anytime that I take mine off, and I don't think I have one of yours that's open. It's over there on another shelf. But when I take this seal off, I save that. I don't cut it. I think it helps lock it in because, if that is gone, then the only thing that's sealing this thing is this. And this is not going to seal anything with the holes in it. So anytime I do, I try to get a knife, I peel that top off of this, and every time I'm done with it, I stick it back in the lid, and I close this up. I try to keep these in the darkest room possible where there's no light, like you said, in a pantry, in a climate controlled. I think, does that help, or am I just wasting my time keeping that disc
I would think it would help. I've not tried that, but it makes sense. What I do is I have a little, looks like a cleaning tray that you see the maids carry around with all their cleaning supplies. What I have my rubs in there, and when I go to cook off, I take it with me. When I get back to cook off, I put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
I've
never put mine in the fridge, and I know Hector just popped up, and Aaron Leslie told me this. Keeps them in the freezer. Take them, vacuum seal them, put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Get out what you need. If you got a big bottle like this that's going to last you if it's a year, it's too long according to you. You need to go through this about every month.
That's right. I mean, keep using it. I'll make more.
Yeah. So, but you could take half of it and put it in a Ziploc bag, vacuum seal it, put it in the freezer. Once you go through this, go back, grab it. That does keep it fresh. But absolutely. I have to think keeping that disc on top, it's going to, number one, help keep moisture out. Number two, it's going to help keep it fresher because air's not getting to it as much. It's not vacuum sealed, but still, this little lid with nothing up underneath it and you got holes, that lid is not sealing anything.
No.
So there's my pro tip that I just gave of what Mike Steele does in all his competition stuff. So, and I just think it helps. I don't know. It could be a waste of time, but it takes 5 seconds to grab a knife, and sometimes they'll peel off really good. Sometimes you have to take a knife and go around the edge. But I do that with all of my stuff. I even do it with Craig's rib candy. When I pop that deal off, I save that little disc to go up underneath it. Rib candy is probably not as bad because it's a liquid, but it just keeps it from making a mess. So, okay, so I know we kind of got a little bit away from your retail side, but I thought it was a great question. This is something that we don't think about a whole lot. I got a chance to talk to Aaron Leslie one time about that. We was at a barbecue competition. I was asking him about keeping stuff fresh, and he said, "Yeah, absolutely, take it and put it in the fridge and stuff like that, or the freezer." And he said it really helps make it last longer. So you carry M grills, PK grills, the Tribal, Green Mountain grills. You've got about every rub known to mankind. Thank you once again for carrying all 90 or 95% all of the rubs that are carried on Barbecue Champs Academy. I've worked with you. You've hey, if you've got some, I know you carry John Lindsay's stuff. I know you carry, the rubs and stuff that Terry Rohn uses. You've got it. We're going to have a one-stop shop where, as they're watching these videos now, you can click the link directly up underneath the video, which is your logo, goes directly to your website. So it's going to make easy shopping for everybody where you can go to one place and get it all. So, anyway, what other stuff that you carry in the store that we're not covering?
Well, I got everything else one might need. Disposable cutting boards, all your tools that you need, from spatulas to tongs, pit barrel cookers. about to get some gateway drums in. Anything that you can think of that you need to cook in your backyard or do competition back cooking, I have it. I sit there and I just rack my brain about what I would need to do a competition cook, and I make sure I have it available.
I got you.
So
Yeah.
I can't think of much of anything I don't have. I don't carry aluminum foil. I don't carry foil pans, but everything else I have.
Right.
I even have some briskets uh, and some ribs too.
Some ribs as well. Okay, Craig threw his pro tip in there. I take a piece of saran wrap, put over the top, and screw it down. Touche, Craig. That's the easy way to do it. That's
There
his
you
pro
go.
tip. Probably a lot easier than me had to hang on to that disc. So, but yeah, I mean, I think anything like that. And there you go. There's somebody else that does do that, and I do think it helps. And Craig, thank you. That's another good way of doing it. Just taking a piece of saran wrap, put over it, and tighten it down. Okay, so here's a question that comes in. I appreciate these questions. James, our really, really good customer that's bought several of our barbecue classes and amazing. He's just a backyard cook, and I'd be scared to death for him to show up at a barbecue competition. Is it better to layer different flavors or mix the season in a shaker all at once and all
Well,
together? So,
I think it's better to layer it,
yeah,
because you're going to get the levels of the flavors coming through. If you just mix them all together,
you don't know what's getting on the meat.
yeah, I just don't think you're going to get the same effect.
Yeah,
You could put everything in one bottle and shake it on there, and it's not going to taste the same
no.
as if you layer it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you because if I want to put like a base coat of your all-purpose, your season all on there, layer. Even Craig came out, same thing, layer it. So, but I can go heavy on that because I need the savory. Okay, this one may have a little bit of bite in it. Well, I need to go a little bit lighter on that. I know it's going to be a little hotter rub. Then I can go just a little lighter coat on that. Then I want a sweeter rub to go on, so then I can go a little heavier with my sweet rub. So, James, that's how you control that flavor profile. What flavor profile are you looking for if you're doing ribs or chicken or brisket or whatever it may be? Usually when you start talking about layering, it's usually on a brisket or it may be on ribs or a pork butt or something. But I think it's definitely better to layer it. I think that's a good pro tip for all the backyard people. A lot of times I see them, they throw it all in one bag, they put it, you have no idea how much is getting on what.
Well, James, just think about this. When you taste something and as you're tasting it and eating it, your mouth goes through an experience of all these different things happening. Well, all those different things are happening because the ingredients that were put in that protein along the way.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Great questions, guys and gals. If y'all have any other, man, certainly feel free to shoot them over. I mean, these are the kind of questions that we like to see. It gives us a chance to all talk. Kevin says layer it, find a good base rub, then start layering. I use Chupacabra as a base, then bronze rub as a second layer, and finish it off with Butcher Barbecue rub. So, yeah, I don't know
There
which
you go,
one you're
Kevin.
using, but that's a good way to do it. You can have a good base rub. The Seasonal is obviously a very good base rub. It's that salt,
Hey,
pepper,
it's the
garlic.
best on the planet for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
for goodness sakes, this is the best one. This is the one you need to be using. Seasonal. It's got celery seed, celery salt. I keep wanting to call it seed, celery salt in it. It stands out. It's amazing. So that's your good savory rub, and then you can come in like Chupacabra. That's just a good I don't know which one, whether it's the original or the
Yeah,
Ribinator.
Chupacabra has amazing product.
Great rub. So I mean, that's a good rub
All
to put
available
on
at
any of
Lonestar.
it. Yeah. And his rib rub is really good. And then you come in and, like he said, Butcher Barbecue, the honey rub. If you want a sweet layer, Butcher's honey rub is amazing. And it's really, really good on ribs and pork butt, even on chicken as well. So,
Yeah, Butcher's has great product.
yeah, you can't beat David Bosk. That guy's just amazing. I mean, I got a chance to watch him how he utilizes all his when he did his cooking class here at Barbecue Champs. David came in back in June and he did his 100% tell all competition cooking classes. So,
Yeah, I want to get that one from you.
man, I tell you what, that guy's an amazing cook. He was the 2018 American Royal Reserve Grand Champion, and 8 weeks later went over and was the Grand Champion at the Jack Daniel, and that's pretty amazing to be a Grand and a Reserve Grand 8 weeks apart. So, yes, that is another very good one, Carmen. I'm glad that you brought that up. That rawhide is Lucky Charms, man. And I got a chance to try some of that about 3 months ago when we was at Willis Point. Lee Hickle, he was putting some rub on, and I was like, "What you got?" And he's like, "Man, it's Lucky Charms. It's his rawhide." And man, it is really, really good. And I'm torn between. I mean, there's 3 that's come out. That one, yours, and Craig Sherry has got an all-purpose rub as well, and his all-purpose seasoning. And I tell you what, these are 3 of some of the best ones that I have tried in a long time.
It,
There's a lot of them that are just
it
like, yeah,
they're all very, very good, but they're all different in their own right. You know,
yeah,
it's that's like I said earlier. You know, everybody, you know, Craig and Phil and many others, we all have our own AP, but it isn't hardly any one of them the same. You know,
right,
everybody's got
yep,
their own little spin on it. They're all great,
yep,
and that's the nice thing about barbecue. You can do barbecue a million different ways. You
right,
know, but when it comes to Phil's, I think if anybody out there hadn't tried
oh
his last
yeah,
call is a great seasoning. I've been enjoying playing with that.
yeah,
It's a sweet with some pepper in there. It's very nice.
yeah. I tell you what, that guy right there, Mr. Phil, he is an amazing cook. I mean,
Oh
heck, he
yeah,
was he was our IBCA Cooker of the Year. And man, I tell you what, he is an amazing, amazing cook. I got a chance. He was cooking right next to me this past weekend down in Hempstead. And we
did
were
you have to tell
literally,
him to turn his music down?
no, you know what? He never blasted it. So I was like,
What was
thank you.
wrong, Phil?
Yeah, thank you. No, it was
Phil, if
good.
you're watching, why didn't you blast him out like you did me that morning? I've learned I love Phil, but I don't want to be parked right beside him.
Oh man, I saw him pull up beside me, and I go to bed. I told him, I said, "Yeah, I got to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to put my brisket in." And he looked at me and he said, "You got to do what?" He said, "That ain't for me." And I was
No,
like, "Yeah, no, it ain't for me either." But the time got moved up an hour because we had, a cook the next day, and Robert was trying to give us enough time to get out, of the awards to get back to do it. He said, "That's why I did it." And I was like, "Man, you're killing me." I already got to get up at 3 o'clock to put my brisket on. Now I got to get up at 2 o'clock to put my brisket on.
yeah,
But when I got a first place brisket that first day, I hugged him and I said, "I don't care what time I had to get up." It was all good. So anyway, okay. So here's a question, Mr. Crawford: would you consider a grass-fed brisket a good competition brisket?
well, no, because I think that corn is going to add to the fat content. You know, you look at a grass-fed piece of beef over something that's finished off on corn, it's not going to be as well marbled. Uh, so no.
Okay, okay. Hector, what kind of briskets are you carrying in the shop?
I got CAB primes and I got Snake River Farm Black.
And Snake River Farm. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, Craig. I was over there. I was worried. I was already grabbing earplugs and everything else when he pulled up. I was like, "Oh my god!" The only good thing is his door was facing away from me on the opposite side. Yeah,
Well, you know
Phil.
why?
Yeah, we're
It's
talking about
because
you, Phil.
Phil didn't have his regular trailer.
That's exactly
He
right.
didn't have his regular trailer,
It was
and he
his
didn't have
brand new
his
one.
15,000 speakers.
Yes, exactly. So, thank you, Phil. Phil, it was great seeing you this weekend, man. I don't get a chance to cook against you very often, and it was a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to cook against you and just being able to talk to you, man. And I wanted to keep going over there to get a look inside your trailer. I never got a chance, but I tell you what I saw from the outside, it really did look nice. And I know he said, "I got my man cave, man. I can just go in here and do my thing now." And it looked really, really nice. So, a couple other questions. Thank you for the question on the grass fed. Do you have bacon beef at your store? Oh, that's a good question.
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
out of all the hassle cattle stuff that I carry, one might think that I sell the ribeyes or the tomahawks or whatever. I sell bacon. That beef bacon or that recipe I was telling you about earlier. I get people hooked on that beef bacon. and they come back for more.
Yeah. Well, it
It's very
sounds
good
like,
stuff.
yeah. Phil, can we get this in writing? The new quite Phil.
I don't believe him.
Oh, come on now. Hey, he's going to tone it down. Craig said he wasn't even next door to him when he got blown away. I know
Yeah,
he was in Waxahachie. I was 150 yards away from it, and I think my whole walls inside my trailer was shaking. I was like,
just be
golly,
glad he
man.
didn't run over you with
Yes,
his
goodness
moped.
gracious. I was cracking up. It was hilarious. So, anyway, so yeah, hopefully this is the new quieter Phil, and he's just going to cool. Phil, yeah, Grady, it was great seeing you, and yeah, thanks. I mean, I did have a really good weekend, so it's in writing. It's here. Hey, you know, Phil, now this live show, it stays up. These comments are here for everybody, so it's nice. It was nice. I mean, it was a really great cook off. I had a lot of folks that was around, and
Yeah,
we
I
had a
really hated to miss that cook off. I just I sold my other one man pit, and my new one just got ready on Friday, which wasn't enough time to get it and get it seasoned in. But I know Robert had done a great job, and
right.
everything I've seen, Robert put on a heck of a cook off. So
Oh, it
congrats
was
to Robert.
awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. Vince, I'm glad you're joining us, buddy. When I get off this call, I'm going to be giving you a phone call. I want to talk to you real quick. So we'll be done here just in a few minutes, but I've had your number for years, and I'm going to give you a call. I got a question for you as well. So, Mr. Aaron Leslie, you got to park on the opposite end of the field. And the field that Phil Breeden is to get a good sleep at a comp. Amen. But Aaron, I've got it. He said, I've got it in writing. Let me go back and find it. I think he said it best. He said, Aaron, you ready for this? It's the new quite Phil. So we're going to hold him to it. So, oh, goodness gracious. You know what, guys? It's been a great show. I appreciate all the comments. These are the kind of shows that we like. I think we've kind of covered about everything. You know, it's good to see all of our barbecue brothers on here. Man, I just am so ready to go cook with everybody from Texas. I mean, I 99% of all my 98% of all my competitions are in Texas. I get only to cook probably 2 or 3 of them in Louisiana, and I've got some great friends in Louisiana. But man, I got a bunch of them in Texas, and I tell you right now, it's just so good to be able to get back. I think when we get back to October the 1st, I hope we're done with this shutdown mess. I know we're all wanting
Amen.
to get cooking again. I understand they're trying to do some things, but goodness gracious, let's get to moving on. We can practice
Uh,
social distancing at
yeah.
competitions if that's what we need to do.
Well,
So,
you know,
um,
as I'm sure you are the same, we all miss our barbecue family.
oh man, and this is
Yeah, I've got to see some of them, but there's nothing like going to a cook-off and getting reacquainted with your barbecue family.
yeah, it is. It's all a big family. Getting to be able
Hey,
to talk
Richard.
to people. So, yep, Richard's there. So, anyway, it's fun, and we're getting there. And hey, Leanne, how you doing? Good to have you here with us. And
Good show. Thank you,
yes,
Leanne. You're my
thank you,
favorite
thank you.
IBCA president.
Yeah, yeah,
No offense, Craig.
yeah. Oh goodness, she's one of my Leanne. I don't want to get myself in trouble because there's Laura and Kiki. You know how they are; they get a little cross-threaded on this. But she is absolutely one of my favorite judges. And Laura and Kiki, oh my goodness gracious! I cooked so many shows with those girls doing judging, and I miss Leanne this year, getting to see her at Rusk. Oh, I was heartbroken that they shut that competition down. And oh man, we gave her brother an absolute fit last year when I. Oh, we was at the banquet, and I called him. I told him, and she said, you know, he's all this stuff. He can't get the place. We're having problems, and he can't get in. And I called him up, and I said, really, I'm going to have to call him and tell him that I've got all these cooks coming in. And oh, I called him up, and I said, man, I didn't even let him get any word in. And I kept saying, I was like, I got all these cooks. I got like 15 cooks coming from Louisiana. He said, but and he had to cancel it. I said, but I've got all these. And he was like, but careful. And
Yeah.
it went on, it went on, it went on. And, and he finally got his word in. He's like, Mike, I had to cancel it. I said, oh, did you? I said, oh, I hate that. I said, I already knew that. I said, your sister's sitting right here next to me. She told me that. And I don't want to use the word that he called his sister, but it had some words in it and a B word in it and everything
Oh my
else.
goodness.
And he cussed her out because I had him going. So
Well,
anyway,
I want to take this opportunity to say, Luann, I'm sorry if I caused you any headaches yesterday.
well, there you go. So I know we're all just probably venting out of frustration. I mean, everybody's doing the best that they can, and um, it's tough. I mean, nobody wants to shut it down. I'm sure that was a tough decision for her and the board members to make. And could we have opened up earlier? Maybe, but they're trying to comply much with the Texas laws as they can, and trying to keep everybody safe. I understand. I want to cook as much as everybody else, but Leanne, I think you're doing a great job, and you keep going. And
Yeah,
you
we need Leanne and more people like Leanne and Craig. We need to get Craig back in there.
Yeah, and Craig's probably going no.
No, Craig, we need to get him back in there. Craig has a lot of, he knows what needs to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all doing good, and Leanne, I think you're doing a great job. You took over at a really tough time, and to take over at the end of last year and not even get into when the season was getting started and right when things were getting rolling, and then all of a sudden COVID hits us. It was a mess.
Well, it's
And
kind of like opening a new barbecue store just in time for a global pandemic.
yeah, ain't that wonderful? So that'll scare you to death. So anyway, but it's been good, and I'm just proud to be part of the IBCA, and I'm proud of all the friends that I've made. Craig Sherry being one of our cooks and meeting him as the president when I first came into all this stuff. Is there hiccups? Yeah. Is there things that could be done better? That's what we all strive to do. We all try to continue, but I think once again, Leanne, you're doing a great job, and with what we've got, and you'll always be one of my favorite judges. I can't ever say favorite because boy, if I did that, Laura would not let me live it down. So,
Well, rarely do I ever do anything and not look back at it. No, I could have done it better, maybe.
yeah, well, we all can. That's just the growing pains and everything else. So, anyway, I've had a good time tonight. I appreciate it. I didn't know it was just like, was we gonna be able to fill this hour up? Man, heck, we done went a little over an hour. So yeah, you're right, Bill. Barbecue family is what it's all about. It was great getting to
Amen,
see
Bill.
you again. I haven't got to see you in a long time, and it was great getting to cook. And man, you have got an absolutely beautiful trailer. Kudos to you, buddy. That thing was pretty. I didn't go inside, but I saw the pictures that you had posted when you was doing everything, and man, it looked amazing on the inside, and the outside was really set up really nice. You got a sweet rig, man. James, I want to see a picture of those seafood surf and turf poppers by Sunday. And Phil, man, be safe out there in your Texas travels. Where's my boy Aaron? His Texas travels. You guys are doing quite a bit. Certainly do want to congratulate some of the Texas cookers that took off and went to Georgia. Lee Hickle, Fred Robles, Bill Purvis. I think that was it, and I don't think I missed it. I think it was those three. Phil didn't get a chance to go, and they did an amazing job. Lee had a
They represented Texas well.
represented Texas very well. I don't remember. I know Lee had a perfect 180 score in pork. I think Bill Purvis finished
Third overall, I
Third
believe.
overall, I think's what he finished, and I think Fred Robles finished fifth or sixth overall.
I believe it was fifth, but I could
Fifth
be
place
wrong.
overall. Guys, congratulations. Y'all represented Texas well and all of our area. And, man, y'all are strong. And, Phil, I know that you're going to continue to get out there with them. I know they probably missed you being there. And buddy, you're an amazing cook yourself. So keep it up. Y'all are all doing an amazing job. It's a little learning curve with the KCBS. Aaron Leslie, he went to the last competition. He wasn't about to make the trip to Georgia, but Aaron, I think I just saw him post. He's going up to Kansas this weekend, and said he's going to be running some of Craig's sauce. So Aaron,
I don't
safe
know anybody
travels
that
up
doesn't
there.
run a little bit of Craig stuff.
It's a staple, man. I mean, the stuff is just that good. So, yeah, that's what these shows are about. I love it. I'm glad we're gaining popularity. We've done this now about 2 months. More and more people are finding out about us, and this is what it's all about: coming together and being able to talk and share some ideas and some different things. This is, to me, what barbecue is all about. We've had
one thing I will say about Craig
yes, sir.
is when I first opened up my store, I talked to him and I said, "Yeah, send me a case of every one of your rib candies and your bird bass."
Uh-huh.
I had no idea how many he had.
Yeah, he's
He
only got
says
like
he sends me a
25.
pile of stuff and a big old fat bill. I'm like, "Holy cow!"
He's got a lot of them. He really
He's got a
does.
lot. They're
He's
all
got a lot.
good, but I was in for a rude awakening when he sent me that bill. I was like, "Man, how many rib candies you got?" Because
He,
in my mind, I had some that I'd always use as a cook,
yeah.
and it was kind of on my radar. But there was like another 12 or so, or cheap at Christmas.
Yeah. Well, man, I'll tell you what, it's been a great show. If anybody is looking for some help in competition barbecue, go to bbqchamps.com. We have some amazing steak grill masters: John Lindsay, Terry Roan, Alan Newton, Shauna Rapolo, Tom Machada. Great cookers. I mean, we have had so many guys taking their classes that have never cooked competition. Scott was on here earlier. He never had cooked a competition class in his life. He bought, I think it was Terry Roan's class, went to his first competition up in Pennsylvania, had a 7th place steak out of, I don't know how many teams. I think he said 13 of the top 20 SCA steak cookers was there, heavily stacked field, and the guy went to his first competition ever, and I think he took Terry Roan's steak class. He went up there and got a 7th place. And then there was another guy that got first place that had taken John Lindsay's class. Somebody was telling me the other day there was a guy that took a class that was dead last, went in and took Terry's class, and boom, right off the gate, first place. And so
Terry knows how to cook a steak.
These guys are just absolutely amazing. They just know what they're doing, and you can learn a lot. It takes the learning curve off for years of what you would try to be figuring out on your own. John Lindsay's class, Terry's, all these guys' classes are barbecue classes. Craig Sherry, man, I've got so many, it's even hard to remember all of them. Let's see, we got Robbie Royal, Craig Sherry, Corey Mikes, Joey Smith, Sterling Smith, Butcher Barbecue, Mr. David Bosca, and I think I got all of them. Maybe one more. Is that 8 of them? I think. Lee Hickle. God,
Don't forget Lee.
Can't forget Lee. So if you're looking for a way to step up your barbecue, these guys can definitely put you on the fast road to being there. Once again, I want to thank all of our partners that help make this possible. Without you guys, Bryan, thank you so much for being part of Barbecue Champs and supporting us and helping us along the way. We're growing every month. We're doing a lot of good things. We're helping the state competitions grow. We know that. We're having people get in it for the first time that are going out and killing it and doing well. That was the whole envision with Barbecue Champs, to grow this sport. We're doing a great job with the state. The barbecue would have been great this year, I think. COVID has messed that up. It shut us down. I think once we get out cooking again and people see these guys out cooking, they're going to want to be able to jump in and be able to compete with these guys. And we've given everybody the platform with Barbecue Champs to do it. Bryan, I appreciate you being on here, man. It's been a great show. We went a little longer, but you know what? We had a lot of people talking. A lot of people stayed on. A lot of comments. We appreciate everybody's comments. And to me, that's what it's all about. Thank you once again, Bryan, and congratulations on Best Rub on the Planet.
Well, thank you, Mike.
I appreciate it. Well, guys and gals, we're going to wrap it up. We'll see everybody, Lord willing, next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central, as we'll be back on Barbecue Champs Academy Alive. Have a lot of fun and smoke on.